If you're a fan of JJK, I'm sure you've seen this image behind me and you've seen the discourse currently surrounding the manga. I got asked for my 2 cents on this, so let's talk about it. First up, I just want to give a massive shout out to Eric for sponsoring this video and asking for my thoughts on these things. Feel free to pause and read Eric's full thoughts if you'd like, but they're mostly in line with what I'm seeing a lot of people say right now, that they're frustrated at the story and they think it's just getting really repetitive. However, I'm not of that mindset, so let me explain why. All right, so first up, let me just give the general complaint that's circulating about JJK right now. A new character gets introduced and really hyped up to fight Sukuna, but then they don't do anything. Sukuna destroys them, and guess what? He's holding back still, and then boom, cliffhanger to the next character that gets hyped up to fight Sukuna, can't do anything, rinse, repeat, right? Now, here's what I'll say. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion. You know, enjoying art in this way is a subjective experience. There is no objective truth to if this is good or not. You know, it's based on your own personal experience. So I have no qualms with anybody that is just not enjoying it right now. Maybe it's not for you. But to take a little zoomed out perspective, which I think a lot of people need to do, you know, the story is still unfolding. We are currently in the middle of the most climactic arc of the entire story, presumably. We, you know, still have the merger and stuff, but really this Sukuna fight has been what the entire manga has been building towards, right? So the fact that people like are ready for this to be done and are just tired of this process really surprises me, because I feel completely the opposite. Sukuna for the entire manga has been hyped up to be this like unkillable god level status of a warrior, and he's proving it in these fights. Even as beaten down and diminished as he is after the Gojo fight, he is still just packing everybody up with relative ease. Now, I will say that there have been some close calls, clearly, and that's what's made it exciting week to week. But I personally have really enjoyed, you know, each character coming in. And an added level to that has been just getting to see this plan unfurl, because it's not as if they're all just lined up out there waiting for their turn. We know that they have like an intricate plan set up to deal with all of this, including Akotsu going after Kenjaku, and the fact that Yuji's soul powers are what is like key to trying to save Megami, as opposed to just going in to take out Sukuna off jump, right? Which I'm not saying they would have been able to do that even if they tried, but like, there's layers to what they're doing here. It's not just Gege rotating through the Rolodex, you know, seeing like, which character should I make fodder next? Now, again, the main thing here is that we're still just smack dab in the middle of this. And I think the main criticism people have is coming from the fact that they're experiencing this in a week-to-week, like, leaks drop culture, which, do not get me wrong, that is one of my favorite parts of this community. I love that we all get to read, like, panel by panel, all get excited and hyped and watch the story unfold together. It's like we're all reading the manga at the same time, which is so much fun. But I think a lot of people mistake the forest for the trees when this happens. You know, just because you're so hyped for Leaks Night, you get to see what happens. You're hoping for the huge, like, break the internet moment. And then if it doesn't happen, or just nothing really interesting happens, then you're like, man, you know, this manga sucks now. But we got to let him cook the whole story. And I'm not saying, you know, if you haven't enjoyed certain chapters, or the story's not going a direction you like and you're not having fun with it anymore, that's completely fine, you know? But to just go out and make objective statements that Gege's writing is terrible or the story has no direction, I think is a little bit ridiculous, because, again, this is what the entire manga has been building towards. So, like, I want to see everybody come in. Like, I was so hyped to see Miguel come back. Please give me Todo. So I don't have a problem with this cycle. I think it's just adding to Sukuna's legend, if you will. And it all makes sense to me. It's just putting Gojo and Sukuna on that much of a different level, which is what the story has told us the entire time. So I think going back in retrospect, once this arc or even the entire manga is over, this section of chapters that people are having a problem with is going to be much more palatable. You know, it's the same thing as like a hit TV show every week, right? Any singular episode may not have done it for you, but the season as a whole could have still been, you know, pinnacle. I ended up yapping about that a bit longer than I intended. So to wrap things up here, I guess I'm just trusting the process. You know, I have enjoyed this story from the start, so I trust Gege's vision to finish it out well. And this isn't a thing where, you know, Gege is making up on the fly what he's doing each week. He's known the ending he wanted for this story a long time ago and has been building towards it. That's what makes this a great story that we can dissect and look for the clues and look for the nuance, because there's intentionality in it. This is why I think Gojo's coming back, right? But we're not going to get into that for now. In any case, I'm enjoying it. I don't have this repetitive cycle problem that people are having. I'm hype. I'm excited to see what they're going to throw at Sukuna next, what plan they cooked up to try to deal with this absolute demon. But again, if anyone does have a problem with it, that's fine. That's their opinion. But I just wanted to add my 2 cents in it, since I've vastly seen a sea of negativity around this. But I do want to give a shout out to Jay Riddle and Maisie, who also put out videos on this, and I agree with everything they say as well. So check them out if you haven't. They're fantastic JJK creators. And again, shout out to Eric. Thank you so much for the support, man.